Okay, so here we have a YouTube channel. We're going to have three knuckleheads. They're going to get together. They're going to tell us all about Kyle's defamation suits. They don't necessarily get everything wrong. In fact, I actually agree with them on a few points here and there. But their commentary is going to show you exactly why Kyle is suing the media in the first place. Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With his powerful brainwaves cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnnie Walker Dread to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnnie Walker Dread Show.
2020 announced the formation of a group to fund lawsuits against reporters and Whoopi Goldberg. Rittenhouse spoke to Tucker Carlson on Fox News on Monday night and said, "Me and my team have decided to launch the Media Accountability Project as a tool to help fundraise and hold media accountable for the lies they say and deal with them in court." Now, when Carlson asked if Rittenhouse had any particular targets, Rittenhouse said, "Right now, we're looking at quite a few politicians, celebrities, athletes. Whoopi Goldberg is on the list. She called me a murderer after I was acquitted by a jury of my peers." Al, what are your thoughts on this story? He's got a problem with Whoopi calling him a murderer. He said he ain't one.
Well, yeah, if he doesn't feel like he's a murderer, then I guess he would have a problem with that.
Look, only in America can an 18-year-old who barely got out of high school can get a team of people around him that he can go visit the former president. He can be on all the late night talk shows. Even though, in my opinion, I viewed him as a vigilante and a possible troublemaker.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I don't think Kyle knew that you thought he was a vigilante. Well, that changes everything.
And I just feel like where else does this happen? And if it's going to happen, it would be through an 18-year-old white male.
Oh, a white male. See? Here's where the racism starts to creep in already. The fact that Kyle is white has nothing to do with this, but they're going to make it all about that.
That people get around and want to support and give him meaningful work to do. Now, the other side of this is I totally understand what the message is, but I don't like the messenger. Like if Cardi B had said something like that, thumbs up. Hell, if I had said something like this, because the media can be reckless. And
oh, yeah, the media can be reckless, but the two people that he named off were what? Cardi B and himself. Black people. That's his problem. It's that Kyle is white. I mean, Cardi B was chosen for a reason there. He didn't name off somebody else. He chose a black person. That's what bothers him about Kyle Rittenhouse.
It can damage you, right, Claudia? You know this well as I know this.
Major.
But in his case, this young man is talking about suing people like Whoopi Goldberg and suing other talk show hosts who simply was stating their opinion. And he can't do that because he was simply not a convicted murderer. They never said he was a convicted murderer. They just...
Well, that's true. Okay, now, if they had said he was a convicted murderer, no doubt about it, Kyle would be in a little bit better shape. I don't disagree with him here. The fact is that when Whoopi Goldberg calls him a murderer, to a certain extent, that's an opinion. And I don't believe that Kyle is really going to have much of a case there. Sorry, Kyle, but I'm just telling you, okay? I don't lie, I don't fabricate, I don't exaggerate, and I don't skew the news to make you feel good. I really don't think that your chances are very good here. But whatever the case, we'll find out. But wait until you hear what he says next.
Just said he was a murderer. And if you shoot and you kill someone, technically you are a murderer.
Wait a minute. So if you shoot somebody, you're technically a murderer. No, I don't think so. Okay, if that was true, then you'd have to call half of our veterans murderers because they probably shot and killed somebody. Actually, only a very tiny percentage of our veterans actually did that. But whatever the case, we certainly have veterans who did shoot and kill people, but we don't call them murderers. Okay, there's something about war that kind of changes things a little bit there. And there's also something about self-defense. When somebody shoots in self-defense, they are not a murderer. And they're certainly not technically a murderer.
So what is he going to sue for?
Kyle, add me to the lawsuit. You are a murderer. You did, in fact, murder. You murdered a couple people. You went out there with the intention to murder, to kill. You're a killer. You're a murderer. You murked people. You took people out. Whatever you want to call it, you did that shit. Now,
you see here, this is why Kyle is suing. It's because of people like her. She's bought into this thing that he went there for the purpose of killing people. And who told him that? The media. And this is why Kyle is so mad and trying to get even with the people who made these claims, like Whoopi Goldberg and such. I just don't think he's going to be successful in that. Oh, and by the way, he is not going to add you to the list because you don't have anything to sue for.
yes, like Al said, you're not a convicted murderer, but you got on this, like y'all talked about this. You admitted that you killed these people. Now you had a reason, allegedly. You had a reason, okay?
A reason, allegedly, right? The fact that he's a murderer is not alleged in her book, but he allegedly had a reason. I mean, alleged? 12 jurors heard his alleged story and believed it. Okay? And their opinion kind of matters.
For it, but you still are a murderer. You are a murderer. So go ahead and add Claudia A. Jordan to the lawsuit, because good luck with that.
This is called truth by blatant assertion. Just call him murderer over and over again, and that somehow makes it true. All right? Now, I mean, if you're going to try to convince somebody using good logic that he's a murderer, you're going to have to dispense with that whole self-defense argument. And good luck with that one.
Q, what do you think? I'm sick of this. I'm so sick of him. I hate him. I hate Kyle Rittenhouse. So
Cal
much.
people, y'all make sure y'all sue Claudia and not the show, because I don't need my in the courts. No, I want Princeton, Harvard, Yale, Howard, one of these great institutions.
Wait a minute. Princeton, Harvard, Yale, Howard? Okay. Yes, Howard is a predominantly Black university, but come on, I understand the desire to sort of elevate their prominence a little bit. You have an emotional pull for them, but don't do this. This is ridiculous. Princeton, Caltech, Berkeley, Howard. Yeah, all right.
Their mental health or psychology department to do a study on what type of mind issue you have to have for you to become the victim and believe it. Like what category of mental illness? Because
okay, so what kind of mind does it take for a person like Kyle to feel like he is the victim? We must bring in all the top dogs from Princeton and Harvard and Yale and Cambridge and Caltech and Howard University. Well, you can't do anything about Howard. Howard's got the real brain power there, right? Okay, look, I'm not knocking Howard University. I just think it's kind of silly for him to insert that university in there like that. But whatever the case, we don't have to bring in all those powerful brains to figure this thing out. I tell you the answer. What kind of mind does it take? A guilt-free one. That's right. That's all it takes is for the person not to feel that he did something wrong. It doesn't take a rocket scientist or an esteemed psychologist from Howard University to figure this out. All you have to have is a guilt-free conscience because you don't think you did anything wrong. Jesus, I mean, look, I don't know how hard this is. Really. I mean, does it take that much cognition to understand this?
Where I come from, when you get away with murder by the skin of your teeth, you go sit your ass down and disappear into obscurity and you become a recluse.
Hey, look, okay, I do agree that Kyle is not handling this the right way, but he doesn't have to do shit just because that's the way you do it in your neighborhood, okay? He is not beholden to you. He doesn't give a damn how you do it where you're from. He can go in and go to all of the speeches he wants to do. If he wants to go in and create this T-map deal and go out and start filing lawsuits, he can do it. It's America, God damn it. We are free people here, and you have no right to tell him how to do it. I've given him some advice, but he knows, and he can ignore me if he wants, and I know that because he is.
But there's something about George Zimmerman and Kyle Rittenhouse.
Well, there's something about George Zimmerman and Kyle Rittenhouse, probably that they're both white, although that with George Zimmerman, that's not quite so obvious, is it? But whatever.
That I would just like to understand, because
this is
just so emboldened and just so, now you're on this media tour about how you've been done wrong. And I just don't get how you have no type of remorse for what you've done.
Because he doesn't think that he did anything wrong. I mean, really, it's not difficult. Holy cow. Holy cow.
Of course you understand this, Funky. He's 18 years old. He emotionally and mentally is not fully developed. But listen, an 18-year-old who just came off of a huge trial gets a call from the former president of the United States to come have lunch with him at his private club. He introduces him to all these billionaires and say, man, you did good. And thank you for representing the country. And for doing good, this is what we're going to do. We're going to change your life. We're going to make you a household name. And not only are we going to make you a household name, but we're going to give you a meaning to be the best young white man in America at this time right now, even though you acted out of hate.
Although you acted out of hate, again, this is why he's suing people. You show me a smidgen of evidence that shows that Kyle acted out of hate towards anybody. There isn't any, but they all believe it because Whoopi Goldberg told them. All right? Does that mean he has a case? No. But I certainly understand why he thinks the way he does. This is why Kyle is suing. And by the way, I don't disagree with him on the notion that after the trial, Donald Trump took him under his wing and pumped him up, and all these other people pumped him up, and that's not good for Kyle. I agree with him on that, okay? I'm not down on this guy that much. I think he makes some good points here. But whatever the case, Kyle did not act out of hate, or at least there's no evidence to suggest that he did.
You killed someone, but we're going to build you up. So why wouldn't he have confidence? Because everything that he talked about in that meeting down at Mar-a-Lago, he is living and he's getting. He's sitting on couches that take 20 years of us working in entertainment to speak to those different news outlets. He is on everybody's magazine, written about, explored, explained. He feels like he's invincible.
Yeah, remember Clock Boy? The dude who just took apart a clock and stuffed it inside this box, and how you guys reacted. Oh my God, you made him a celebrity. So yeah, we hear this all the time, guys. Kyle Rittenhouse is not the first person to ever become a celebrity for maybe the wrong reasons.
And it ain't even just because he's 18, it's because he's white.
Whoa. That's racist.
That was racist.
Yeah, that's racist.
Oh, that is racist.
Yeah.
Let's keep it a buck. O.J. Simpson, they both got off, right? They both got off. We know what we have our thoughts, but they both got off. You think O.J. could be like, hey, could be so cavalier and brave like this and get...
Yeah, absolutely he could. If O.J. had shot somebody in self-defense because he was at a Black Panther party and some white dude attacked him, oh, you don't think that they would be pushing OJ up to the very top of the whole celebrity ladder? Of course they would. The reason why there's a difference between OJ and Kyle Rittenhouse is that Kyle Rittenhouse has a lot of political intrigue around him. There's this whole Patriot versus BLM thing going on. And so when there was a shooting, a certain part, a faction of the country rallied around him, and the other part of the country rallied against him. Yes, there is no doubt about that. OJ didn't have that. Everybody hated OJ because he was just some rich, spoiled dude. There was no draw for him, not because of his race, but because there was no political angle.
A call
No.
from the president.
Not at all.
Like they get positively, negatively reinforced with that negative bullshit. I'm sick of it.
Keep in mind, these are the same people who are going to go out of their way to see the George Floyd memorials, even though George Floyd wasn't exactly a nice guy either. What about Dante Wright, a career criminal? They probably have erected a statue to the dude. This idea of extolling the virtues of people who've gotten into a lot of trouble is nothing new, and it's not relegated to the Republican Party. They do a lot of this. In fact, I've said it before, it seems like every one of their heroes seems to have a very sordid past. They seem to gravitate towards the most despicable creatures around.
Because he's white and they never get in trouble. So why should he even be fearful of it? I don't think he ever was in fear of repercussions.
He was never in fear of repercussions. This is a person who couldn't have watched the trial. I mean, are you serious? Watching him, you could see him visibly shaking while they're reading the verdict and collapses at the last reading, and nobody disputes the fact that that was real. And according to her, he never feared the repercussions. Oh, come on. This is one of the things I hate about some of these shows is they get on here and they just shoot their mouth off it, and they don't seem to care whether it makes sense. They just say any damn thing that comes through their mind, and they don't seem to fear the repercussions of it.
And the fact that white people can look themselves in the face and truly convince themselves that what he did was patriotic just baffles me.
It's sad.
The willful ignorance, the ability to just want to rewrite history in order to make themselves feel good. I don't give a good goddamn who you are. Everybody from coast to coast knows what that boy did was wrong and the true intention and spirit and nature of him being where he was.
Wait a minute. Everybody from coast to coast knows that what he did was wrong. What about 12 jurors? All 12 unanimously said not guilty. And they had direct access to the evidence. Not the Pudgy's evidence. Nobody gives a damn about that. Doesn't mean anything. But the actual evidence that pointed to his guilt or innocence, they had direct access to it. They looked over it for 4 straight days. And that doesn't include the trial itself. And they all came to the same conclusion. Not guilty. Furthermore, there's a lot of people just like me who dive into this very deeply, and we don't think that he did anything wrong either. In fact, I'll put up my knowledge of the Kenosha shootings and what went on against any of these 3 anytime they like.
And his mama.
And his mama. Like Wendy Rittenhouse had anything to do with it. But again, they think she did. And guess why? It was because the media told them. And so they are exactly the epitome of why Kyle is suing. Like my video, subscribe to my channel.